I know that in some of the research that I've been doing, I've found stuff where people, you mentioned Roy Innes, or I think no, it was Tony Brown, went so far as to call all people involved in black exploitation films race traitors. I mean, was there ever? Wasn't there the feeling that you were the ones that were being betrayed by?
Well, since this is for the archives of history and for the truth, you see, what has taken me a life to learn, and it's heartbreaking. But not to pick on Tony Brown, he's no better, no worse than anyone else out there, frankly. See, but I went on the Tony Brown show. Tony Brown, as you describe, as one can describe, I mean, he knocked all black films, Superfly in particular. Then after the program, he took me out to dinner, and apologized and said, "Ron, I'm sorry, but I have to do this because they're trying to cancel my show, and you're the hottest thing going now." And so this controversy that has risen about Superfly and black films is very hot. Everyone's on top of it because it's all very new. We never had black people on the screen like this. People, you got to understand this. You could not see black people on the screen. They were non-existent before these films. Maybe except in, we'd all rush to see some guy playing fourth or fifth role. So-and-so, there's a black guy driving a truck in this movie. It was like that. Okay, that was the climate. And then we all rushed out. Well, having taken me through over the coals during his program, he took me out to dinner. Afterwards, apologized and explained that there was nothing personal, it was just business. As a matter of fact, he would be delighted to produce my next film. Could we talk about it? And that sort of hypocrisy, that sort of dualism, that sort of backstabbing, I've never learned to deal with that, but that's a reality of this business, black or white. But it hurts more when it comes from your own people, from people that you would think would have some sympathy, empathy for your cause, would try to help you, because by helping, they're not just helping me. You're helping your people. But I found it doesn't work like that. With black people, it doesn't work that way. It's more like I've upped my income, up yours. Well, when you talk about films in the '90s, black African American, you say black now, it's African American. Before that, it was Negro or colored. I don't know, but they changed the names, but we still come out the same. I don't know. In any event, you talk about the modern African American films. I can only speak of them as an audience, as an onlooker, because I've never worked in any of these films. They don't use any of us in these films who were of the '70s era for one reason or another. The plot doesn't demand it or whatever. I don't know. But, and they say there's a new wave in all this. It may be a new wave, but you notice an interesting thing. These films are not producing stars. For the most part, they're not producing stars. Some Denzel and they have worked in, and a couple of the other guys have worked in a film or two somewhere along the way, but they're not star producing films. The producer is the star of these films. The director is the star of these films. These films are, and they take unknowns and gangbangers and kids, it's about homies on the block and all that. Well, maybe I'm getting old. I don't know. There's a place for that, But no one, and maybe they're wise. Maybe they know. Maybe they're going the only direction that it's possible to go. Nobody's trying to make I mean, where's the black Charles Bronson? No one's trying to do that. Where's the black Clint Eastwood? Where's the black Sean Connery? Something I was often accused of was being the black Sean Connery, you know, and then told in a friendly way by a well-meaning white producer, surrounded, you know, says you can do everything that Sean Connery can do, except who needs a black Sean Connery? I said, well, you made it not such a bad day for me because at least I know I'm not crazy. Now, when you talk about black actors, you see, actors, the trouble with being a black actor is we need stories. We need scripts that are conceived, shaped to create the impressions that I'm talking about. They're, you know, and they're just not writing. If they're writing, if you write them, because I've tried to write, I've tried to get one over, and you know, forget them. As they say in New York, forget about it. Forget about it. You know, they got 10,000 reasons of what's wrong with it. You know, all the reasons it can't be done and X, Y, Z. Okay, fine. So new. They just don't write. See, black people are not seen in that way, and I'm getting into areas of definition. If you think I have a tendency to go on and on, I will really go on and on about this sort of thing. It's a sort of war. It's a sort of ideological image war. To me, the media is the most powerful force in the United States. I mean, the media can even make General Motors back up. Okay? They can create and make or break presidents. One of the last golden circles, sacred circles of white endurance in this country is the motion picture medium. Motion pictures, I mean, it's like John Wayne, you know, for years, I mean, you know, John Wayne was the American male, archetype male, right? These are the guys that we all want to be, these Marlboro men and this and that. Well, they have trouble looking at a black person with the same sort of adoration that they look at John Wayne or Clint Eastwood. They have trouble giving that up. And what I'm saying, I'm talking less about the population of the United States, because I happen to think that the population of the United States is a much less racist and more fair community given a chance than are the organizations, the organisms that supply our entertainment. In other words, I think the entertainment business is about 20 years behind the kids and people in the street. They always have been, and they're very, very cautious. But that's the last place. I mean, where are the dreams? What do we want our girls dreaming about in Kansas when they go to sleep? Do we want white girls in Kansas going to sleep with pictures of Ron O'Neal over their bed? You know, now Michael Jackson got over. When you become Michael Jackson, you can make $100 million a year. Something not threatening about Michael Jackson. Non-threatening blacks do very, very well. Me, as you can tell, I got a big mouth. I ain't never been ugly. I mean, I'm approaching my latter years, I'll put it that way. I don't look that bad. I don't think they do not. It's you know who has this complaint? It's Rodman. Rodman for the Bulls has the same complaint. Whereas Michael Jordan is America's dream child. I mean, you know, he does everything correctly. Of course, any of us would know no one's perfect. Michael's an image, you know. I know this. I say this, you know, and I'm probably wasting my time saying this, but it's It's all about this image thing. And they'll take a few blacks and carefully cultivate them to reach a certain position that satisfies the need, the public relations need to appear to be open, to have a racially open policy. And if it means that they have to give you $7 or $10 million a year now to do that, rather than 70,000 or 700,000, which is what it was back in the 70s, okay? They're more than happy to do that. Of course, white actors, I mean, the salaries that black actors now make, there are white actors that a lot of people have scarcely heard of that make more money than they do. A lot of people would be shocked to know that. I mean, that may be stretching, that may be exaggerating that a little, but you would have heard of them. But I mean, but people, you know, it'd be like they're the Michael Jordans of acting now, and they still don't make as much money as some guy who's scoring 14 points a game on another team somewhere. You know, it's like that. So, I mean, I don't, someone said, you know, if I sound a little jaded, I'm sorry, but what can I tell you? I've given my whole life to this business. No. As someone said, well, Ron, when the question was asked, who wants to be an actor, you raised your hand. And I did. Okay. I wish I could have been a boxer often, a prize fighter. There's something very clear about being a prize fighter. That's why Ali could do the things he did. Because you see, the thing about a prize fighter, at a certain point, they have to let you get in the ring. And if you're as good as you say you are, no matter if they like you or don't, you can leave your opponent lying face down in the center of the ring, and you can walk out and say whatever you want. They can't take the victory away from you.